Donald Trump was speaking on a multitude of events at that Navy base over in Japan. And dude only knows how to campaign. The sad news is that he campaigns with this stupid over the top talking all the time. And nobody's buying it anymore. Here we are back on his economy.
Back home, we had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Energy costs are down. Energy costs are way down. Gasoline prices are way down. Grocery prices are way down. We have a little problem with beef. We're going to get that down very quickly, but the prices are way down. Mortgage rates are down despite having an incompetent head of the Fed. I call him too late. He's always too late. He's too late in lowering interest rates. I call him Jerome Too Late Powell.
Bro, nobody gives a shit about your stupid nicknames anymore. People are suffering, but everything's way down. I'm not sure if the plan is for people to believe that or for them to say it and then laugh about it afterwards. This whole section is about how Scott Bessent and Donald Trump are tag teaming to try and lie to folks about what it is that we're looking at right in front of us. So Donald Trump says over the top crazy things. Scott Bessent goes on TV and acts like all these things make sense. So he gets frustrated when someone asks him a question.
Inflation, we learned this week that inflation in September ticked back up to 3%. That's the highest level since January. I want you to take a listen to something that President-elect Trump told me back in December. Take a look.
I started using the word, the groceries, when you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that. We're going to bring those prices way down.
Mr. Secretary, coffee prices are up 19% from a year ago. Beef is up almost 15% and bacon up almost 6%, just to name a few. So when are all grocery prices going to come down as President Trump promised?
Well, Kristen, it's unfortunate. As much as I like you, you like to cherry pick. So, when we came in, it was eggflation, eggflation, eggflation. Egg prices are down, gasoline prices are down. Overall, the inflation since President Trump has come in, has come down. We inherited this terrible affordability crisis from the Biden administration. The first thing we had to do was get it under control. And this month's inflation number was actually below the consensus number. If we look at core inflation, it was 0.2%, which was the lowest it's been in a long time. Rents are coming down. So, Kristen, you don't get to cherry pick. Inflation is a composite number, and I am confident that in the coming months, inflation is going to come down.
Hold on. First of all, Scott Bessent thinks Kristen Welker should give a damn if he likes her. As much as I like you, Kristen, you like to cherry pick. She should have responded and said, it doesn't matter whether or not you like me or not. Actually, I don't like you. I don't know whether or not she likes him or not, but who gives a damn? You see how this whole thing starts with you have to be in some kind of favor with these guys? They think they have some kind of authority over who they like. I don't give a shit if you like me. Matter of fact, if you like me, it's a mistake because I hate you. So, because as he's destroying the country, he wants to talk about how she's cherry picking things. These arguments just don't work. So he tried the same lines of saying everything's up and down and down and up and eggs. And you guys are mad at me about eggs at first. And now that changed, now you're mad at me about the fact that you're losing jobs and you can't afford anything else. I can't believe you guys would be like that. I used to like you, Kristen, despite the fact that, he doesn't like her. She at least asked him another question.
Just to be very clear, though, CPI has been higher in the past 3 months than it was in the first 5 months of the year. If President Trump's economic policies are working, why is inflation up? Why are those grocery prices that I just mentioned that he said were so critical, why are they up?
Well, again, Kristen, you're cherry picking because inflation actually had a drop, the first drop in 4 years in March and April under President Trump. And I am confident that as we come into the coming numbers, that we will see a drop in inflation back towards the Fed's 2% target. And I assume your next question is going to be to blame it on tariffs. And the imported goods have actually been quite flat or dropped, and it's mostly service goods. And another factor in the inflation report is what's called investment management income, and that's inflation that goes
Okay.
up because the stock market goes up, so management fees are higher.
Okay.
Folks about to lose their SNAP benefits. Scott Bessent thinks he can talk about how people's stock markets portfolios are affected, and how, if your preparer from your stock market portfolio has changed his fee structure and all this. Who gives a damn? Nobody is thinking about that stuff except for you and your rich buddies. This is an illustration of a bubble. He thinks people give a shit about all these things that he's just talking about, and that doesn't affect the fact that they literally go to the grocery store, buy 5 things, and pay $72 for them. He really thinks that they're going to be, oh, well, I'm broke and I barely have enough food to feed 3 people that live in my house. But at the same time, Scott Bessent said the stock market is what's changing all these things. Who cares? They're so detached from reality. They're so detached from humans because they don't think anyone else is worthy of a human treatment that they think they only get. Like, this guy went on TV. Look at his. I'm gonna show you guys the face in the freeze frame of this loser that is still stuck on. This guy has the face of a smug sumbitch. He really thought he just nailed it because, Kristen, I used to like you as much as I like you. Did you know? What a sorry ass. Sorry, I took too long on Scott Bessent. I didn't know he was going to anger me like that. Here's the propaganda from Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I have to keep playing it because he keeps saying it, and we have to not believe it.
We'll see. We're going to take care of. Look, we're going to take care of our ranchers one way. That we have 2 situations. The ranchers for 35 years have done very poorly. The cattle people, they've done very, very poorly, and now they're doing well, but the price is up. So what I can see happening is we're going to take some beef because I have to get the price down. I want to get most prices are down. If you look at energy and all I have things down, but beef is high, and the cattle ranchers are doing good. They backed me from day one. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that they don't get hurt, but we have to also make sure that I get the prices down. I want to get the prices down like I did with eggs, like I did with lots of others. We had a couple of them where when I first took over, eggs were double and quadruple what they were. That was Biden's fault. A lot of this is Biden's fault too. And we're going to get the price of beef down, and I'm going to make sure the cattle ranchers don't get hurt.
He said the same thing 3 to 4 times in that minute and 5 seconds. Ranchers, beef is going to come back down. But the one thing he said that I think he wanted to stick was, it's all Biden's fault. Nobody's buying it anymore. Like, nobody's buying it anymore. If you listen to him, he doesn't say anything. Because if the follow-up question would be, how are you going to get beef down? How did you get egg prices down? Because he didn't. And also, so what are you going to do for these ranchers? And what do you say to the ranchers who said, we don't want your bailouts? That's not going to sustain me for my business and my continued life. No one, I mean, maybe some people ask him, but that's when he moves on and says that they're fake news and who are you and where you're from and your organization isn't doing too well. Every time he does stuff like that, it means, oh, you got me. I actually suck at this. I wish you hadn't brought that up. Didn't you buy my bullshit the first time? Here's more of the propaganda that I think Scott Bessent thinks we're supposed to buy from Donald Trump. Again, standing in front of a naval base in Japan, talking about this.
The greatest economy in the history of the world. We had an economy like nobody has seen before. Now we're doing it again, but this time actually it's going to be much bigger, much stronger. I told you $17 trillion, but it's going to be $21 trillion. And that's numbers that have never been heard of before. Much bigger than any other country in the world by literally $15-16 trillion. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's definitely right about one thing. These are numbers no one's ever heard of before, because we can't hear about them until you pull them out of your ass, which he keeps doing. We're up to $21 trillion. It was like 2 months ago when we were at 8, maybe it was 7. We jumped to 11. I think it was 14, 17, 20, now 21. They don't care anymore. There's all these questions about whether or not he's got cognitive decline and whether or not he's got some kind of, mental disorder and all this stuff. It doesn't matter. Because even if he does, the rest of the people that are surrounding him keep acting like what he's saying make any sense. You never heard of it before. It's the type of things you've never even heard of before.